Ooh.
You're live.
Yay! Hello, everybody. Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and Grey Knight Storm Ravens to that 6+++ show. Tonight, we're talking about a GT, a very special GT that we done run down in the south that we've just come back from. We're really, really excited to catch up with you all. So if you're tuning in and you were at the event, let us know how you found it, what you thought. Tell everyone it was awful, whatever you like. And also let us know what you're up to tonight. Are you hobbying away? Are you painting? Everything else. We're going to introduce one little cast of players. And then we're going to get into talking all about this wonderful event that we just had. Chris, in the top right, looking very imposing. How are you?
I'm okay. We found that our last event, it wipes you, doesn't it? Absolutely.
Yes.
And I got back Sunday, and I just was a zombie.
Yes.
I managed to just about stay up till 9, and then I was like, just gone. And yeah, I've been struggling since a bit. It's weird, isn't it? Because you're not playing, you're not you're just. But
it's a different kind of fatigue, isn't it?
Yeah, because you're so on it, and as we'll discuss, we had our own things to try and work out, especially on Saturday morning. And there's that. All of that is taking in a toll on you, just fatigue-wise on the brain, and then you kind of crash. But it was an amazing weekend, and looking forward to talking about it.
Completely. Did you come back hungry to play 40k, Chris?
Oh, my balls were so blue. The bluest of balls. I think especially because Harley was there with his Grey Knights, and his list was very similar to one that I'm planning on, or I've built to be taking care of. So I was watching it very closely, very keen to see how he got on. And, Grey Knights look like they're in a pretty good place, as we'll discuss, or they potentially can be.
I think so. I think it performed well above what we thought it might.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, I've literally bought a Storm Raven right here. Boom.
Yeah.
Unpainted, it arrived. So
look at it.
After this show, I'm going to be filming with Harley and talking through his GT run.
Oh, amazing.
We'll get the lowdown on the Storm Raven meta.
And Harley did obviously have a great run. I'm sure we'll mention him at different times across this show. But well done, Harley, for being a little killer with his Storm Raven. For a list he didn't want to take, he did all right. You can hear him giggling. I'm joined by my sensei, Scrivo. Scrivo, how are you? What's new?
I actually woke up today with a very sore throat and I sounded really husky. So I've spent my day drinking Lucozade and taking tablets to feel better. Because apparently, you bring 40-odd nerds into a big hall, someone's going to bring something in.
No.
I know it hit at least Alex as well, so it's definitely spreading.
Tournament flu. Yeah, between teaching and tournaments, me and Chris just set up to be permanently sick for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Just always sick. Nerds and kids, it's a disaster. Did you have a good event, Scriver? Did you enjoy yourself?
I really enjoyed it. It's something I really enjoy doing, is that whole kind of where you kind of just wander around the hall, dipping into each of the games, seeing how each of the games are going on, reading the table, coming back later and going, oh, that's gone very wrong. And it's just all gone really right. You know what I mean? It's just very exciting to do that. And just to be that host where you're just chatting to people, making sure they're having a good time, making sure everyone's got drinks and stuff. And then
I think
occasionally rules.
Yeah. It's like, what I realise is I always come away from events where I'm playing feeling like I never quite got enough time with people. Whereas when you're actually sat and observing and facilitating, as I was at this and as I was at the ITT where I just went along to just basically help out, you actually do feel, you're like, I've caught up with everyone. I've had a really good time, actually been able to get quality time with every single person in this hall. And I think that's a real luxury and a real privilege. That was really, really good fun. And I did see you manage to sneak and get some magic in as well, John. At one point.
I played one game of Magic the Gathering, which was great fun. Well, actually, I played 2 games, lost both of them. I had no clue what Sean's deck was doing, but it was great fun.
It was very confusing. It seemed like he was just damaging himself, but then he won.
Yeah, who knew? It's like Drakari, but in card form.
I was going to say, absolutely. Speaking of Drakari, I'm also joined tonight by one of the actual attendees and players at our event. It was the wonderful Ben Pierce. Ben, how are you?
Hello. I'm good, Tom. I think I'm just about caught up on sleep now.
Wonderful.
I did have to work yesterday, so again, that was a bit rough. That was a bit rough after the weekend we'd had. And some of the antics. There
were antics, yes.
It was a rough shift yesterday, but I think we're all caught up. I feel somewhat rested and in a good place.
Good, fantastic news.
So yeah,
And do you? I mean, obviously we're going to go into it, but do you have any sort of trophies or booty from the event, Ben?
Oh no, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Oh, what's that big pink thing?
What's this as well? Look at that!
Best in faction.
I did get a best in faction.
Very well done.
Pretty happy about that. I have to say.
Absolutely.
The pink thing.
Very nice.
The pink thing.
Yeah, the little wheel
very
tracker
nice.
thing is
very nice.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Prizes for 6++. Oh,
we're enjoying our pink era quite aggressively. I don't really know where you
very
go
aggressively.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where. Like, ever since we were like, the blue needs an upgrade. The blue needs taking up a notch. Pink's been great, but like, I've no idea how we top it. I don't know where you go from there. But we'll worry about that in a year. For now, it's pink season. All right, we are going to shout out people in the chat. We'll do a tiny smidge of self-promotion, and then we'll move it forward. So, Alex Fowler's in the chat, and he's looking forward to this one. He has no reason why. Well, we'll get to that. Barry's in the chat. Iniquity's in. Jerry's painting focus is in. Jerry, our most furthest travelled attendee at the event, coming all the way from Europe. Thank you, Jerry. Sam Dunn is in. Best overall star, Sam Dunn. Naz is in. Says it's pronounced Xenos. Thank you for correcting my English, Naz. I love you. Martin Dorr is in. Wonderful. And yes, a lot of love for the pink. The pink is our new, as I say, it's just era. We're going to be like Taylor Swift. We're going to have eras now. That's where we're at. Ooh. And we're in the pink era very much. Also, Charlie wants to. Wonderful. Okay, fantastic. On the self-promotional side, there's not a ton to report. We are cracking away making videos as we always like to do. So thank you very much for watching and supporting. Please do hit like and subscribe, leave a comment. That all massively helps us out with the fickle YouTube chaos gods. We don't want them smashing our roof in again. So let's have them on our side, please. If you want to join us as a YouTube member and support us financially, you can do that too. It's absolutely amazing. We've got so many members supporting us now, and that helps us pay for all sorts of awesome things to do for you guys in the future. And we are running a whole bunch of 40k coaching out of our coaching Discord now as well. So if you're interested in learning to play that game a little bit better, tighten up with that army, get ready for that big event. We have a bunch of coaches ready and willing to help you out. We're pretty good at what we do now. As I watched a number of people I've worked with absolutely tear people's heads off this weekend, I was like, you know what? It really works. So
Look, that's what you get.
As I said to you on the night out, I actually can only take minimal credit for you. I think you were hitting a curve already, to be honest, Ben. I know when not to take false credit, but you are a killer. I'm very proud of you. So yeah, come and get involved if that sounds like the sort of thing you'd like to do. Just message us and come join us in our big old Discord. Links in the video. Huge Discord now, hundreds of people in there, stuff going on all the time. We'd absolutely love to have you. And on the coaching side, are you going to a little event called the LGT? Would you like to play well at that event? Well, me and Chris sometimes do well at that event, and sometimes we don't. But what we do have is a lot of experience to help you prepare for it. And to go about getting ready for, honestly, one of the widest, most open metas you can ever possibly play in. That's the daunting thing about LGT. You have no idea what you'll hit or who you'll hit. So there are certain fundamentals to double down on and get ready for that. So if that sounds like something you would be very interested in doing, then we're running a workshop in our coaching Discord on September the 11th at 8 o'clock UK time. So if you'd like to come have a little live discussion in class, working through the pack, working through your list, doing a little bit of applied learning and getting you ready for the event, you'd be very, very welcome. And there is a sign-up area in our Discord, and you can go and get involved there. Wonderful stuff. I think that's it on the promotional side. Have I missed anything, Capitan?
No, I'd say is some channels are charging like £150 for a opportunity to prepare for LGT. Ours is only 20 for 2 hours of your time. We will make you better prepared for LGT for just £20.
Absolutely.
That is a bargain. And
this is why I never look at what other people are charging. It's just better that way.
It's crazy, right? Really crazy. So, yeah, value for money. But
100%. And they're really fun group discussions as well. And I think everyone takes a lot out of them. So yeah, do come and get involved. Nas in the chat says everyone take Votan for LGT Busted Army. Me and Nas this week have been plugging away making Votan work. And that looks like what you might think it looks like. It's been an interesting time for both of them. Nas was like, it's not bad. I was like, how do you do? He's like, I didn't win, but it's not bad. But we're coming around to the Hearthguard. I think there was everyone going, oh, it's all Steeljacks all the time. I think the Hearthguard brick is actually still pretty legit in Votan. I think that's a lot of fun if people want to check that out still. Don't write them off. They've got a tiny bit worse, but they've also got cheaper. And so it's well worth having a look at. All righty. It's main show time then, really. It's time to get stuck into the main topic. So
10 minutes in. There you go.
Like lightning guy that likes us. I mean, to be honest, you're going to hate this topic anyway, Guy, because in fact, he probably wouldn't watch this video because he knows it's all about us from the start. But it is all about us. I want you to set the scene for us, Chris. In terms of arriving zen, ready to do an event on the day, having had a nice smooth week with every little final thing clicking into place, how close would you say that was to your experience on the Saturday morning as we all rallied?
Well, I mean, I would say that when we ran our first event, we gave ourselves a huge lead up to it, and we were super well prepared. This time, I think we were probably a bit more like, well, we've got the foundations in place. We want to expand and improve, and so we had a few tweaks like there. But just sometimes summer sneaks up on you. So we were kind of as we hit that final week, I think we're in a reasonably good place. And then, as we mentioned last week, I got a phone call halfway through driving back from Scotland to say, "Oh, by the way, you don't have a roof on your venue, can't use
anymore."
And that was exciting. And we did then obviously the show on Tuesday, and it was like, well, Tom's been ringing around lots of places.
Did we when we did the show? We didn't, did we?
No.
We didn't. We
had a list of about 15 or 20.
We've been rejected by a lot of places or turned
down. A lot of church halls didn't want me near them.
No, understandable.
Don't know why. Yeah.
No. But we were a bit like, but thankfully Tom Redgate came to the rescue and had found one. We were able to go. He went, but we just weren't sure whether it was big enough. So then Tom went along. He looked at it. He said yes. I think it would be great. And then it was just like, cool. I think this will be okay. It was only until I told everyone we had it sorted, but it was like the Friday where I was finally able to fill out the sheets and pay. So we didn't even have it locked down to Friday. But don't tell the people that came. It could have all gone wrong on Friday. But other than that, I think, a huge thanks to Chris from Hemel War Gamers, because kind of they were the ones, or Scriver, you got in touch with them, right, to get it all started. And so we kind of set the alarms for very early in the morning on Saturday and rocked up at the venue nice and early, even before 8 o'clock, ready to get let in at 8 o'clock.
I was even on time. I was shocked at myself.
Well, the day before, we'd all been like, right, we're going to get there at 8. So I was like, yeah, I'm bringing such and such. We'll be there at 8. And Tom's like, I might not make it for 8. I'll see how it goes.
I think it was because I'd covered myself, and then mentally it was fine. It was strange. It was very strange.
You bastard. And then I was pleasantly surprised that he rocked up at probably before 8.
Yeah, no.
Obviously, there's one slight problem, in as much as the person that was supposed to let us in at 8 wasn't there. And so we're like, this is a bit awkward. 8:05, 8:10, 8:15. I'm like, right, okay. So I get on my phone. I've been given the caretaker's number. Right, ring him up. Ring, 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 ring. Ring, 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 ring. Like nothing. I'm like, oh no. And then finally, it goes, some guy on the phone's like, hello? Hi, Chris. We're supposed to be being let into the venue now. He's like, who? Like, Chris, we've hired out Pascal Hall. Are you able to come and let us in? He's like, oh, who's it booked under? I'm like, oh my God. Like 6++. Chris is like, right, okay. I'll be there in 2 minutes. So he must live on site. So we got into the venue at about 8:20. And some very lovely but quite elderly old man came in and sort of let us in and was like, can we go in the kitchen? Or have you booked the kitchen? I think so. Right, well, I'll have to double check. I'm like, okay. I'm sure we won't need the kitchen. That definitely won't come up later. And then we get in and we then look at the venue and we're like, it's absolutely fine. And then we all just start get started unpacking, don't we? Really,
tables.
Yeah. It was quite. What I think this is exactly where we start to see a running theme of this event, which is just every single person helped out the whole way through. Right? There was no like everyone who was arriving. There were a few people early. Jack Tite had come along with you, hadn't he, Chris? Like, everyone just got stuck in, got it all set up. The tables were good. I thought the actual venue tables had the right space. The venue itself seemed really nice.
Everyone got to go around the table. We got to have there's like a little stage where we could put table number 1. Yeah. Tables were random, so it never actually mattered. But table number 1 was up there in its own space. We had space where we could sell our stuff and put all the trophies up and that. So it actually worked out. And you know what? Like looking back at it now, you could use the cafeteria area for more tables, and you could probably get around like 56 people in that event.
Oh, 100%.
And I think that'd be fun.
And terrain-wise,
wow.
we start with the good, Chris, because we're teachers. The terrain that we had from Chris was really, really good, in as much as this was the first time I'd ever seen this sort of like 3D printed unpacking WTC stuff.
Tinker
so I don't know what was Tinker Junkie. It was quite remarkable stuff. Like I think it worked very well. I didn't care much for the little. It has these little grooved plastic bases. I didn't love these aesthetically, but Alex Fowler did point out to me in his always looking for the angles and the opportunities kind of way that actually the grooves mean that ruin is always going to sit exactly on the plate where it should be. It's not going to shift or nudge or change. So in terms of maintaining the consistent angles and gaps on the buildings, those little grooved bases were really, really good. And it also packs away like an absolute dream. Because it feels like half the space.
It's all hinged, right?
So yeah, it's all hinged.
All the floors collapse down. It literally folds flat. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I haven't been as impressed by a terrain set in quite a while. I have to say that stuff is very, very cool.
And it wasn't painted. It was printed in 2 colours.
Yeah, it was like printed in different colours that kind of had different themes and everything else. And I loved it. Thought that was really good. And then, of course, we also had a few borrowed sets of terrain as well. And did that all go as you planned, Chris?
So we knew when we signed up that they would be able to provide like 18 tables of terrain. So soon we knew we need to get some more. So sort of we said, well, we'll invest some of the income in WTC terrain. Scrivo can build it up because he loves to do that sort of thing, and then we can do that. The terrain then arrived. Now, we had never really considered it because Ed was supposed to be running an event our weekend, but it got cancelled. So suddenly Ed's terrain was now available. But then also Ed was like, well, I could just bring the Glasshammer terrain because they've got...
Because it's painted.
Because it's painted. So we were like, that sounds a wonderful idea. There's no way that this could possibly go wrong. We obviously, just in case though, we messaged Ed so many times that he was clearly pissed off. But you know what? The terrain went
so
in.
Much now.
The terrain went in the car. All great.
Yeah.
So we're at the venue. We're setting up the terrain. We're like, right, Glasshammer terrain done now. Open up box. Cool, Glasshammer terrain. Boom, boom, boom. Open up another box. Glasshammer terrain. Cool. Boom, boom, boom. Open another box. Oh, this is just a box of crates. And we're like, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it, really? Because now we don't have enough terrain. So what can we do? Well, it'll be fine. Ed can drive Scrivo to Scrivo's house. He can pick up his WTC set of terrain and bring it back. Not a problem. So I know they've gone off to drive. And then another box is opened. There's 2 remaining boxes left. Glasshammer terrain. Tick. And the 5th box is opened. And that was also full of crates. So I've got Aidan and I think it was Ashley saying, like, where's our terrain? I'm like, oh, there's 2 boxes. Let me just ring Scrivo. So I ring Scrivo and I'm like, just to check, you are bringing 2 WTC terrain sets back, aren't you? He's like, no, just the one. I go, oh, no.
That's halfway back at that point as well.
Yeah, literally halfway back.
Oh, God.
So I'm then like, literally just, what on earth do we do? Ed's like, I'll drive back to Glasshammer and get another set. I'm like, that's like a 4-hour round trip. That makes no sense at all. So I sort of said to Scrivo, do you have any other terrain? He's like, well, I've got a GW set. Right, well, why don't you bring one of the sets we've bought and build that whilst one of the tables plays on GW terrain?
Yeah.
And we just decided to pick two lovely chaps who we thought wouldn't kick up any fuss.
We were like, who are the most zen and wonderful people we could choose who will be patient with our failures? Was it you, Ben?
It was me!
You, wasn't it? Ben, if you were to assess the impact that the change of terrain had on your game, what would you say it was?
Very, very little, if any. I was able to drive Fulgrim turn one. It was great.
It made it easier for Fulgrim to get out, right?
Exactly. Fulgrim had a great time, but
Fulgrim loved it.
Lee was running Fulgrim, so he was quite relieved to have some bits that Fulgrim would run over. But given that Ben was immediately attacking Fulgrim from the start on the line anyway, it didn't have too much of an impact.
We had one table which played on GW terrain, and the idea was that Scrivo would build the next WTC set, or one of them, kind of like at some point in the morning, so that after lunch we could then get that on, because we had news that Manny, who was just about to drive down to London, would kindly pack two terrain W.
He did come and save the
and
day,
he came,
which was lovely.
That was very good of him.
Yeah.
It turns out they have like 55 boxes of terrain, 5 of them are filled with crates. He just happened to manage.
He basically, when he was originally building all their big sets for their big events, he did the crates first. That's like a mental partition. So he's got more crates than he's got sets, right? Because he did all of that initially, and they're still working their way through all of the big backlog of WTC stuff. So it was just one of those where accidentally one of the crate boxes was taken
twice.
Must have been a pair of them together, but it all worked out.
Yeah,
and that, I think, got us pretty much in position. Someone has already shouted out my hostess trait. Yeah, I did get for the first time since I worked in a pub many years ago. I got the honour of returning to service work at this event, and I got to carry a little trolley of food and drinks around and ask nerds who are so focused on playing their game and do not want to talk to you about chocolate bars if they wanted to buy a chocolate bar. So that was fun, and I didn't die at all inside as I was doing that. Thank you very much to everyone who bought food and drink from us as well. It was all very sweet. Nerds love Monster. They love Monster. Monster was going down.
I'm shocked.
Like an absolute house on fire. Yeah, has to be said. But I suppose probably now we can tell some little stories of some of the rounds. I've got it up on BCP to remind myself what happened. Pick out a few bits and bobs, and Ben can obviously tell us about some of his own experiences as he goes through the event as well. So let's start with round one. I mean, Scrivo, Chris, have you got any? Do you have any particularly sharp memories from round one and the happenings? And it's fine.
Pure unadulterated stress. So for me, probably not really. It wasn't the 40k I was focusing on. It was more for me. It was like trying to deal with the terrain. The internet's not working and I kind of need that on my laptop, so we're having huge internet difficulties. And then, oh no, we can't get in the kitchen, which means we've got no way of providing water for people. Shit, what do we do? Okay, I'll drive to Sainsbury's, buy a ton of water, and then get back, and these two are like, oh, they've opened the kitchen for us. Nice, good.
It was so good.
Very happy for you. So yeah, I would say it was quite nice. After a few hours, after probably with about an hour to go, I was able to walk around and just get to say hi to people and just get a bit more of a feed on the round. But there wasn't anything off the top of my head which was catching my eye.
That's all right. I can pull a few things out. We had a few quite spicy. There was a lot of Emperor's Children at this event.
5 out of 42 armies.
And they all got stuck in pretty hard in round one, I think it's fair to say. They were carving their way through armies of different sorts. A lot of combat matchups with EC versus other things. Jack Type beat Blood Angels. Our own Adam Gawley beat Space Marines. Sam Dunn, here with his Blood Angels, managed to take out one of the Emperor's Children players. So well done, Sam Dunn. So they were on a tear from the get-go. Kobe Walters on Emperor's Children with Flawless Blades, beat up some Imperial Knights. The Flawless Blades were his secret anti-knight tech there, so very well done, Kobe. So that was one of the big stories of round one, as the Emperor's Children went up a gear and announced their return to the competitive scene after everyone except John Lennon gave up on them. Drakari were doing all right as well. And I want to shout out Tim Waters at this stage, because Tim Waters, this was a lad who'd messaged us before the event asking if he could change his list, and we had to say, no, we're very sorry, Tim, at this stage it has to stay as it is. But he's a very sweet man who came to the GT, and it's his first GT. I believe he's been playing for some time, but this was the first full GT he'd taken a punt on, I think basically because he'd listened to some stuff and really liked the vibe. And what I would say is I took a special interest in Tim because he was brand new and because he was playing Drakari. We all love a bit of Drakari. So I was like, I'm going to watch this lad's games over the event. And Tim got to play against Kelvin. Now, Kelvin is an orc player. He's a bit of a metalhead. He's a wonderful personality. And that, for me, I was like, as game one of a GT...
Welcome to Warhammer.
That's as good as it gets. Like Kelvin with the drama and the orcs and the wowing, and I was saying to them, I was like, I want everything to be in the middle, killing each other in a turn, please. But they didn't do it. They both circled each other for quite a while. They were quite patient. Tim's quite a patient player, I think. That's the impression I get. But in the end, the Drakari triumphed there. So Tim got to have a very big, brutal, and fun game at the start. And as I say, I think, considering he was one of the only people there that I didn't know at all, and when the unknown variable, after your first couple of conversations, you're like, oh, you might be one of the loveliest people I've ever met. You're like, this is good. We're on a good run here. We're onto a good run. So Ben, take us through your game one, buddy, or a little TLDR of it at least.
Well, so I had the lovely Lee Jones, which I don't think I've ever played before. I don't think I actually met him before, but he knew me, so I feel like maybe... Yeah, so I was like, he knew me, and I was like, I'm not sure I met you. I know who you are. I don't think we'd met.
One of the founders of Six.
But yes, he is. Yeah, he is. And he turns up and he puts his lovely Emperor's Children army down on the table. You know, Fulgrim appears, and I'm like, all right, I see you, Fulgrim. Where's he going on this WTC terrain, guys? And then Chris delivers me a fatal blow, and he says, "There's 2d6 mortal wounds to your plan, Ben. We're all going to turn wherever we want. Have that." I was like, right, fine.
I have to say, Lee had messaged me about the round one game, and we had agreed that on WTC he basically did just have to stand in the open on a flank and just hope. Really.
Right, that was it. I mean, I don't think his game plan changed too much.
No, he did the same thing anyway.
He did the same thing, and I looked at it and I thought, there's an opportunity here. You know, Code 3 don't like losing their warlord.
No, they don't.
Any buffs. They don't get any buffs. So I was like, it's only Fulgrim. Easy, mate. No problem. He goes, cool. Fulgrim's going to go fights first then. I was like, yep, no problem. You've got some spawn sat right next to him. And here's where my fatal error fell into place. I loudly proclaimed that I would charge these spawn and then pile into Fulgrim to get around his fights first. Having forgotten that said spawn do in fact reactive move. So they buggered off. I'd already thought about it. See, John, I'd already thought about the heroic with Vect. That was my plan. And then these spawn fucked off, and I've got my beast pack and court sat there with the dicks in their hands, like.
I had a Fulgrim, and he loved dicks in hand. So.
And I was like, well, we're gonna have to stick with the plan and just hope that I don't die. I did die. It all went wrong, and very quickly got overwhelmed with a lot of angry pink boys running at me. But it was a great game, and Lee, what a lovely guy Lee is.
Oh, he's the OG. Yeah,
great. He's absolutely great. I loved it.
He doesn't get to play as much these days, but he's a very good friend to Chris. Him and Chris go back a very long way. And then the only reason that Scrib and I are really involved with Six Plus at all will be because we met Lee in the club scene we were in sort of Bedfordshire. When we we were already well out of that. But he's just the best. He is a very much a sort of paragon of all the stuff we like to be about.
Commission painted army. I can see you in the chat all going, oh, his army looks
yeah, it has to be said, does not have time to paint at the moment. But I can clarify the two slightly dodgy looking contrast chaos spawn were his.
That was his.
So don't worry.
I really like the blue on them, so
yeah, no, it's good. So it was a good round one, I think, and everyone's getting up and running. We've got a bunch of people starting to set down some markers. I think there was a couple of ominous 20-0s as people sort of set their stall out. I think Alex Fowler killed an Admech army in what felt like about 2 turns. There were just Vortex beasts all over their home objective by about halfway through the round. I was like, that doesn't look very good for the Admech. Ed Watts had just so many Space Wolves on the board. I know Like Ed was going for fluffy army here, right? And it was fluffy army. It was very beautiful and it was very thematic, and it had a bit of everything. But like every army Ed likes, it also just had a shit ton of stuff, and there was a lot of stuff on the board.
It's so intimidating to look at.
And when it just fills the whole deployment zone.
Deployed on the line, it looks very aggressive.
Yeah. And he 20'd lovely Chris on his orcs. So it's a few really interesting lists getting up and running as well at the event. So that took us through round 1. And then moving it along to round 2. Did anything disastrous happen to us before round 2? I can't remember. I think by this stage it was starting to be quite smooth.
We were still fighting the internet.
Yeah.
I was still fighting to do the terrain.
I was trying to get the card reader to work and do terrain. Didn't help. I was just like, you know what?
Card
just
reader
terrain.
working. So yeah, other than that, I think we had some very exciting matchups. And my round 2 was spent walking around the hall, grading everyone's army. So for the best overall and best painted, we had a matrix or a rubric of painting with 15 points.
Yeah.
And for me, it was nice because I got to see everyone's army, but it was the people's reactions were very funny because I could look at their army and tick off most of the points, but there were some which I needed to ask them. So everyone I went around, I'd be like, do you have any conversions? No. Do you have any OSL? No. Do you have any non-metallic metal? No. Do you have squad markings? No. And every single person I would feel like utter shit because they were like, no, I have none of the things you're asking. Obviously, it didn't mean that they had a bad.
Can you send me that rubric and maybe one day I'll try and do an army that has those things?
Absolutely, yeah.
I've got squad markings on mine.
Yeah, not once. The Paulie and Kai's, they hit every single one apart from squad markings. But yeah, it was just quite funny because everyone had that. It was a bit like when I got a new car recently and I went to show him my old car so he could value it. And I was like, oh, I'm really sorry about the mess. And he was like, oh, don't worry about it. He was like, I bet everyone says that. He's like, yes, they do. And when I walked around, everyone was like, oh, don't look too closely at blah, blah. It's not very good. It's not my best work. I am going to do. They're all like just so defensive. It was quite cute. But yeah, it was really nice actually looking around and in hindsight, I'm actually really happy with how that matrix or rubric worked out.
I think it was good.
I'd grade each army and I'd look at them and these two armies have scored the same. Let's have a look. And actually, yeah, that is right. They are roughly about the same. And I could compare across the hall and be like, no, those were like a 30 or a 35, which was average. Well, this was a bit better, so it was like a 45 or 50. And Kai and Paulie got 70 out of 75.
It is. I do want to shout out Kai at this stage because another thing Kai had done was he had played Sam Dunn at our first GT that he'd come up to, and shot Sam up with his Chaos Knights evidently because he brought Sam a little. I think it was like a little intercessor that he's modelled, and the lad's got like a big hole through him from like a laser weapon, and he's got like the glow and everything else. So it's this one little model of a guy that's been absolutely blasted by a Chaos Knight, and he gave it to Sam as a little trophy. So I mean, that's just really cute. I'm sorry,
so cool.
These people that come to our event are cute, nice people, and it was just nice watching them all have a great time and be lovely to each other. And this was just one of many examples.
The Battle Shock tokens everyone got at the first GT, he'd painted his.
Nice.
It looked fantastic.
Yeah,
it was so cool to see.
I look forward to seeing what he does with his moth.
We should probably shout out the goodie bag. Actually, we haven't but Ben, what did you get in your goodie bag?
What did we get in our goodie bag? So we got a little. Is that scrub? We got a little twiddly thing, a pink twiddly thing.
Yeah.
Which I use as CP counters.
Yeah.
Yes.
But wound counters works if you have a Storm Raven, for example.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen that balancing on a Storm Raven a few times.
You could potentially just leave that on a Storm Raven all the time. I think
potentially could.
Apart from for 1 round.
For 1 round, where you take the whole bottle off the board, right? We got a lovely 6++ dice, if I am not mistaken. And
you did.
The most important thing, we got a little 3D printed moth. It was beautiful. Mine definitely wasn't on the floor at any point, and Chris didn't have to tell me about it.
There were definitely some little moth wings that I was cleaning up off the floor of the venue at the end, so I know that a couple of these moths didn't make it through the event.
The thing I found, like most photos for me, was just that I'd say probably at least 2/3 of the attendees had literally no idea.
No idea what was going on.
Why have you given us a moth? This makes no sense at all.
Moth has a very cult-like following in our channel and our community, I think. It was one of those you had to be there. And I was not helpful because I just went round to each person and handed them a moth and said moth and then left. And that was all the explanation they got. So, understandably, but that was by the end, people were using them as tokens for different things.
Really nice to see,
Oath of Mothman was one of the recurring ones. That was nice. Sticky objectives. It was good for some mothy objectives.
So thanks to Patrick for 3D printing those for us.
Yeah, very sweet of Patrick to do, and just silly and fun. We like that stuff. And Jack Tight says moth OP. We will write the rules. Don't worry. The rules.
Codex moth.
Codex moth. World's not ready, but because we're going to have all the codexes soon. So how else are we going to shake the meta up if not a whole new codex that's about a big bug? We'll do it. That'd be good. So going into round 2, do either of you guys remember anything significant about round 2?
Oh, we had Alex Chancellor versus Jack Tight, and we had
we did.
Alex Fowler.
We had some pretty spicy rounds, didn't we, in round 2? So Alex Chancellor beat Jack Tight, which was pretty cool.
I went over about halfway. How's it going? Actually, Jack's winning, but I'm about to go for a bunch of charges, and if they come off, it might be okay. Yeah. And then I came back. I was like, "How's it going?" And Jack goes, "Well, it's looking like a draw or a small win for Alex." I'm like, "What?" Like, all those charges did go off, and like in the car, Jack was saying like, he killed the knights and just all this small stuff came out and just started doing all these annoying things.
Indeed, and that's where Alex's list is a little bit cleverer than some of the knights lists we see, because it's not just knights, is it? He's got some other bits and bobs in there. He's got kill team. He's got a few other little agent smatterings. So actually, it's not over when you drop the big knights. There's more to come. So that was very cool. I mean, we know Knights is not an easy game for Emperor's Children, and Jack Tight was running the Carnival list that was voted for him by our community, I believe. So ultimately, thank you, Jack, for coming to our event in the spirit in which it was intended, which was that you should not win it.
Because he could have tried to bring his WTC list, couldn't he?
He could, exactly. You could have been.
I'm not sure who would do that, though.
You could have been. He could have been a monster, like an unconscionable monster,
do that.
like awful, detestable.
Just one awful human.
Meanwhile, Alex Fowler was playing against Ed Watts. So Alex Fowler was running his WTC 1000 Suns.
Oh, was he? Oh.
Yeah.
So well prepared with that then. Yeah.
And Ed was running his, obviously, Ed's list was fluffy, but it was also dangerous, right? And every list Ed runs is there for a reason and does a job. But they paired on Purge the Foe, and Ed has no guns. And Ed essentially said, I'm going to start this out for a turn or so and see if anything can be done. And then if not, we're going to the pub. And that was very much how it went. I think Alex played quite aggressively, picked up a bunch of Ed's stuff. Ed did not have a lot of joy trying to engage the Thousand Suns. And then they called it a day. So that was the death of the fluffy dream. The Space Wars did go down here. But those were two very big games in the overall placings. And then other games, what else did we have? So
the Sam mirror.
Yeah.
Sam
did. So there was a Sam off between Sam Dunn and our own Sam Royal, who was also engaged in a permanent matchup against rum and whiskey and other such things.
700 milliliters of Jack Daniels was his time.
Yeah. So Sam Royal lost that game. Sam Dunn won. Ultimately, but they had a very good time. Paul James got past the Emperor's Children. Harley Scully's Storm Raven claimed a victim in Adam Gawley's Emperor's Children in a Plusov. What else did we have? Jerry Jensen's Space Marines absolutely bodied some Gene Stealer cults. There was a very stoic, classic Dave Murdoch 10-10 draw with Ashvan's World Eaters doing the Grey Knight thing.
Having got a 10-10 previously as well.
Yeah.
Heroic.
Lee Jones bounced on and just bodied some Chaos Space Marines. So Fulgrim at this stage was proving OP, and all my PR for Fulgrim lately was starting to look like, cleverness, but eventually that would run out.
This was the round where I saw new guy Tim doing some absolute skill stuff in combat.
Oh, yes.
He did a fight on death with some, I think it was some sisters, into some sacrosancts that were doing an action. He fought on death, but the way they were positioned, it wasn't the unit that charged him. And so poor Darren from Warhamsters was like, "Oh, you can't fight me there." So they call me over, and I'm like, "Well, actually, they're the closest model. They can pile in." And he killed the unit, which then stopped the cleanse, which started to turn the tide. And it was very sneaky, but it was very interesting to see. But it was just, my God, how did that happen? It was situationally, it wasn't very likely, and it did. And I was like, well, actually, this is what happens. And bless him, Tim was like, "I feel bad for this. Let's just say it doesn't happen." I was like, "No, but this is the rules."
No.
Absolutely not.
You are doing your thing because it's horrible and it's brilliant. It was very nice because it showed that he wanted his opponent to have a nice time. And for the rest of the weekend, Darren was just like, "I hate you, Scrivens," and he was just really angry at me constantly. And I was like, "My work here is done."
Excellent stuff. Barry in the chat is saying that Fulgrim was put down immediately. Yeah, but you're missing the point of Fulgrim. You traded the bile brick for Fulgrim. So that's the bile brick gone. Just like Ben traded the court for Fulgrim. Like, that's the thing that wins you the game, and it's gone.
Fulgrim loves being bait. Isn't that perfect?
Yeah, man. He's just big, sexy bait.
It's
Big, sexy bait.
Ben, who did you play?
I played John. John was also on Emperor's Children.
Nice.
I'll let you all into a little secret here. There's a theme coming for day one. So John's playing a very different Emperor's Children list, in that there is no Fulgrim. It's more of a standard version of the coterie list. We're on Purge the Foe, so I'm feeling a bit squeaky about this. I can't lie. But something happens in this game that we don't mind. We don't mind all much. It happens a lot in these games. 6 Talos walk to the middle. 6 Talos do not die. 6 Talos run over the rest of the army. So we had a pretty good win there. I think it was 17-3 into John.
Yep.
So it was a solid game. It was a really good game. John was lovely. John was great. Yeah, it was a solid win. Well, a happy time.
Easy game, isn't it? Easy game.
Easy game. Just Purge the Foe, innit? Just win it.
Just win it. Just win it with Shikari.
Just kill more.
Just kill more.
Just kill more and hold more. It's not hard, guys. Just kill more than your opponent.
Easy.
Completed it, mate. Very nice. Tom's back. Hey, Tom.
Hi, guys. My connection's being a little bit ropey at the moment. Hopefully it'll smooth out, but we'll see how we go. Is it coming across okay?
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, that's fine.
At this point in the event, how many times had Harley's suboptimum Stormraven list lost its Stormraven as well?
It did not. It did not. The Stormraven was, I think now he'd learned to hover it. The Stormraven was having a great time basically sitting in his hallowed ground, shooting the ever-living shit out of things. And it was very good at that.
If you've got a ship with quite a lot of decent guns, and you can reroll all of your hits because you're Warpbane, and they're all twin linked, so they can reroll all their wounds. Turns out that's quite powerful. And what also happens is if you position it right and your opponent can't put much shooting into it, they also don't bother because it's -1 damage and they can't be asked to waste a turn of shooting when the Grey Knights are threatening just to hammer into them with a lot of stuff that's re-rolling hits and wounds also, like purifiers and stuff. Harley's issues, and I also agree with this, on TTS, the Stormraven's massive, like compared to what it's like in real life. I don't quite know why, but I've been trying to deploy it on UKTC. I'm like, this thing's horrendous. I can barely move it around. Do I want to do it? But actually, that's not what happens in real life. In real life, it's far more maneuverable than you think.
Yeah, very much so. It was cool. I really enjoyed seeing that list out because it was one of the more unusual ones at the event. I'd not really seen it played. And I thought it was very interesting. It definitely did its job. It's more cagey, and then suddenly it can unleash a lot of damage, right? And as Alex in the chat has identified, I think the TTS model may simply be too big. It may not be quite right. Either or Harley's got a smaller Stormraven made for the event, and we need to actually DQ him.
Probably most likely.
I would prefer that solution. So
yeah,
that's the only truth.
I can't handle planes being good again. Please no.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about new lists at the moment, and Guess what's happened to the Storm?
It's gone. It's gone, isn't it?
It's doubled.
Yeah, you can see what he is talking about 2 at the moment. I feel like we might push it to the point of not being particularly useful, but we will see. We will see.
We all know you need to take 3, so
yeah, absolutely.
I am in love with that. I want to see it.
Yeah. So I'm going to move it along. Going to move it along to round 3.
Yeah.
What happened in round 3? We had ongoing shellackings. There were again some big wins. Aidan Brocklehurst absolutely executed our own Dave Murdoch. He ran him off the board with absolute violence in that game. Alex Chancellor beat up Lee Jones. This was where Fulgrim's event came to the end.
It's so funny. Every time I walked to that table, Fulgrim was sat in exactly the same spot in his deployment zone. Because wherever Fulgrim moved, he would just die. He would just die. All the knights were sat just waiting for Fulgrim to move. So Lee was like, I'm not going to move him. So Lee's trying to play the game with 3/4 of an army as the knights just rampage around, and Fulgrim's like, sorry guys, I can't really not really help out here until we can.
Eventually he came out, tried a 9 charge, failed and died anyway. That was the end. So I think we ingress Fulgrim in the next one. I think that was my main feedback on Philly on that one. But I think it highlighted that perhaps in the face of a really strong army, Fulgrim might not actually be the answer. So that was one big win. Alex Chancellor continuing to slay. Ed Watts ran over some Chaos Knights. Kai's lovely painted army got drowned in Space Wolves.
Oh, special mention here. Ragnar into a full-size Chaos Knight, 26 wounds. So Ragnar has 8 attacks or something like that with sustained. He rolls in 5 6s, so gets through 13 hits into the Knight. He then wounds all of the times, 13 wounds, and it's -4, so Kai gets no save. So Ragnar one-shots the whole
He just picks it up really solemnly, and it's just
absolutely insane.
Yeah. A saga worthy of legend.
And what a hero, just one-shotting a knight. Like, what is that?
What detachment was he playing? Was it Beast Slayer?
No, Gladius. Just straight up Gladius.
It wasn't even in the title. My God.
No.
So sad.
What a story. What a story.
Alex Fowler beat Ashley Farnes' World Eaters. Josh Wood beat Marco's Thousand Sons. What else do we have? Paulie Wallace beat up on the Admech. Harley Scully played Sam Dunn. And it turns out the Grey Knights really like Space Marine bodies, don't they? And they shot them into tiny, tiny bits.
Shout out to Sam for failing like 3 charges, all quite close range, which
like
put
a 5, a 4, and a 6, I think it was, or something stupid.
Yeah, that put that one to bed pretty aggressively, didn't it?
Also, special shout out to Sam for having to put up with Harley, who went full dickhead mode and just like, my name's Harley, my penis is massive, and I'm going to keep swinging it about. And Sam handled it magnificently. So
and then when he was asked about his sports vote, he was like, "Do I have to? Is it on your sporting or you as a person?" And it was just like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!"
Well done, Sam. We love you.
Yeah. And speaking of Sam's, our own Sam Royal had his second Blood Angels mirror of the day. And I was watching this game, and by this point, Sam is arriving at the end of the bottle of Jack Daniels, right? So Sam is wasted, just absolutely wasted. Now he can stand, he can talk, he can play, but he is probably too drunk for 40k. And unfortunately, that meant that Jordan, lovely Jordan from Vanguard, beat him very handsomely indeed, 18-2. And I just remember Sam going to do a whole Death Company brick and he's just picking up the dice for the chainsword attacks 4 at a time and counting them. So just go 1, 2, 3. Very, very special. And Sam's night continued to get weird and wonderful after this, but that's not a story for this show.
No.
It's a story for legend.
It's a story for legend, but not for this show. So yeah, some really good games. And Ben, how was your round 3?
So once again, I have my 3rd Emperor Children match of the day. 3 for 3 into Emperor's Children players.
There were only 5 there. I mean,
Exactly.
You call yourself somewhat of an expert on the subject.
Yeah, you're well understanding this matchup, so you should.
Well, you see, I've lost one and I've won one at this point. It could go either way, right? Maybe I should draw this one to make it fair. I did not. Same thing happened again. I put some Talos in the middle. He cried in, I have lots of 3 and 2 wound models, and I said, haha, you can't kill my Talos. He kills 2 and then dies in return. We have a great time. Kobe was lovely, to be fair to him. We had a really funny time.
I really like Kobe.
We had a really, really great time.
You were out, I think, somewhere, and I was talking to him. I was like, how are you feeling it's going? Like, you got a plan, what are you going to do? And he was like, well, I'm going to come around here, I'm going to get those Talos. And in my head, I'm like, I've been there, mate. Everyone thinks they're going to get the Talos.
And you do 2 wounds and then cry.
I was like, okay. And yeah, I don't think it went quite according to plan, really.
No, it went as you would expect. He did not get the Talos. The Talos got him. It was great.
Beautiful Talos. Love that for them. Big fan.
So good.
So that brought the day down. For us, that was the first day done. Got a bunch of people in pole position still. Byron had beaten up our Tom Redgate with his Chaos Demons. He was undefeated. Harley's undefeated. Alex Fowler's undefeated.
Paul James undefeated.
Paul James at this stage undefeated. Our own Alex Chance is undefeated. Aiden was actually on a submarine mission. I think he had lost his round 1, but he was on a mission to murder everyone regardless. And so that took it to a social. We had a nice social out, didn't we? Went and had some Korean barbecue in the town.
Yeah.
Shout out to, was it Daybeck?
Daybeck, I think it was. Yeah. Daybeck, yeah. Very good food. It was very yummy.
Awesome food.
And Sam Royal cut in the queue and paid for my dinner at the end for some reason. I don't know quite why. He came in, started talking to me very intensely, and then just as they were offered, after they came to get me to pay for mine, he just hit his card on it, and then wandered off again. So I was like, okay, well that's useful. So we'll need to sort that out at some point. But yeah, I mean, then we went out to the town. There was some drinks.
We went to Spoons, didn't we?
We did go to
Fully. You went to the Fully.
You know what? That was a very nice Spoons, I thought.
It's an Art Deco cinema converted into a Weatherspoons.
Yeah, no, it was lovely, actually. And I think Jack Asher had, posted the table number, in one of his group chats. And you can do this, right? And people can just order drinks to your table. So our table was just getting these really random
lots of pictures that were very yummy were turning up from Joe Reed and other members of the team that weren't there.
They were pretty nice.
Yeah. And then after some of us decided to experience what the real Hemel has to offer in the form of the nightclub that was closed down. So you had to go to the bar next door, and that was certainly a night that will live long in the memory. Quite a hazy memory.
It is a hazy memory. It's a memory that will leave to the imagination tonight, I think. But it was certainly a memorable
so glad
night.
I went to bed.
Yeah.
There was
I think it's important context because obviously the next morning things are in a certain way. We've done one of these before. So actually, what was fun was that it was literally all the same storylines. You've got Chris, should be hungover, seemingly isn't, seems to always come through it completely impervious. You've got Ed Watts, his army from last night is still on the board. He's not there. He's not.
I love packing up Ed's army every time. It's the best.
Oh, it's 9:30. Where's Ed? Oh, he's still not here. Okay.
Yeah. Brilliant. And then we've got a few late casualties kind of making their way in and people who need a bit of love and a coffee and some additional food and whatever else. There was some McDonald's being ordered into venue at one point, I saw. But we get up and running.
Just before we go, can I just specially shout out Jack Tight here?
Yes.
Because good old Jack, he never really comes out.
No.
But it just so happens the last time he properly came out with us was Northampton, ITT, when he played for us 3 years ago or something. And he got lost on the way walking back and got in at an insane...
And his phone had gone flat as well.
Yeah,
his story, right?
phone had died. So I never really managed to get him out with us again, but we just dragged him along, and he knew he needed to get drunk to enter the place, but you could, he even unleashed the main
Oh, did he take the hair down?
It was glorious.
Oh, I'm absolutely crushed that he didn't do that when I was
quite
there.
incredible.
I should have gone out. I knew I should have gone out.
No,
It was a
Tom,
thing
you
of
should
beauty.
not have.
And I mean, I got approximately an hour and a half sleep, and I woke up and sort of texted Jack. I was like, we're going. Are you okay to leave at like 8:40? Didn't really hear anything from him. And I knocked on the door, and it transpired that Jack had literally no alarm set or anything. Had just woken up at 8:35. Just woken up, incredibly fortunately, and just kind of got ready. But I think it'd be fair to say, Jack didn't look his best self on the Sunday morning. He wasn't really feeling up for it. And as he says, he didn't want a melee mirror first thing, which is exactly what he got into a bunch of Death Ring nights. But big shout out to Jack for being a good sport and coming out. And I'm sure he can't wait to do it all again. / will never, ever do it again. I mean,
in my headcanon, it's him still just self-sabotaging after playing Mordaka last time. He's like, I'm going to bring Carnival. I'm going to be so hungover I can barely stand up. I'm going to make sure that I'm not in the frame to be taking down the event this time. And certainly he did look like he had been through some stuff that night. He looked a little bit tired.
Saw some things.
We all saw things.
He was having Vietnam flashbacks for sure.
So as far as round 4 goes, we obviously had some undefeateds, and we had. I'd gone home with Harley relatively early. I was always going to go home early anyway, but Harley was also keen to go because he had a date with Alex Fowler in the morning, his fellow England applicant buddy. And this was a very interesting game. I think our assessment on both sides was that the T-Suns probably would munch the Grey Knights up. But I think Harley played it relatively cagey, got us sort of in to go and push in and get some Dread Knights in and get stuck in and do some damage. I mean, me and Chris were sort of observing Alex's games throughout the weekend. Obviously, I have the privilege of having played against Alex a lot in recent times. And I have seen the moment where you think someone might get Alex many times. And I know that in the vast majority of times, they do not get Alex, and instead they die. So as we're having this moment and Harley stuff's going forward, I'm getting the flashbacks. I'm like, I know how this probably goes. And alas, in the end, Harley was a couple of charges away from connecting enough, and Alex Fowler did pull through and win that game. As far as our other undefeateds go, we had
Paul versus Alex in the
Paul versus Alex, and Alex summarily executed Paul with guns at range. Picked off a repulsor turn 1, I think, which made Paul's life quite difficult. I quite liked Paul's list into Alex. I think, unfortunately, Alex was able to get an angle with a knight turn 1 that did a lot of damage, and that made it tough for Paul to recover there, didn't it? Did we have any other? Oh, we had Byron still undefeated as well, didn't we?
And he played into Sam Dunn.
Yes, when they had a draw in the end, I hadn't realised that game finished as a draw. Sam played it very passive, very cagey. I remember watching Byron trying to push up the fatty Great Unclean One, like up towards Sam's actual home objective, and I was like, this is quite unusual behaviour. You don't normally see the fat guy having to make a push on the home.
Well, Sam knew he had bottom of turn, and Sam
exactly
being like, I've got bottom of turn, so I'm just holding my ground and I'm going to win at the end. So whenever I looked at the score, it was 12-8 to Byron. And Sam was just like, can he hold? Can he stand firm and commit at the end, or will he kind of panic and commit too early? But they got a 10-10, which was very interesting because it cut out one undefeated or one person who had now not won all their games.
Yeah, absolutely.
It left just the Alex off.
Indeed, it did.
Ooh.
And Tim Page beat Alex Beresford's Chaos Space Marines in a very close game there. Marco beat our own Jack Asher, who was fortunate to be standing up at all.
Conscious.
At this point, is what I'm going to say. And I went to get him a McDonald's to put in him for breakfast. I was a bit concerned for his well-being, only to find that he'd ordered one to the venue whilst I'd gone out. So I'd been beaten back by a delivery driver. But he did go down against Marco in that game. What other results we have? Tom Redgate beat Taff Jones on the Death Guard, went through the Death Guard pretty happily. And then, Ben, you got an experience, didn't you?
I did. So I got Kelvin.
Did?
Kelvin, as we stated earlier, is a wonderful human.
He's an experience.
He's a very lovely man.
Yeah.
And you had far more energy than my little hungover brain was able to handle at that point.
I was watching you visibly shrinking in the face of the enthusiasm and the noise, and especially the shouting whenever you hurt any of his units. And I could just see you being like, I'm not sure it's actually worth damaging him, because every time he makes a joke about the damage, I need to go and curl up under his table.
His dice shaking was too loud, right, for you as well.
It was a lot. It was a lot, but it was a wonderful game, and I did lots of standing in front of him instead. And we decided we were just going to meet in the middle, and I was like, "That's fine. I think that's all my brain can take right now. Let's just run into the middle, punch each other, and see who's standing." It was Lilith. Lilith was still standing at the end. Apparently, 20 boys don't have anything on her. So, yeah, we had a great game. It was really fun. But I needed
shout out to him as well, because he was 0-3 at this point.
Yeah, we got repaired, right?
We had a couple of drops, and
this is a gripe. No one wanted to play me on the buy. There was a buy on the there was a buy on at the end of the Saturday, and I was like to Lawrence, who got it. I was like, "Oh, you can come. I'll rattle through some new Votan. We could play a game." And he was like, "Nope, I'd rather
go
not
home
do
to
that."
my wife or play new Votan.
New Votan's. Oh, anyway, we'll talk about New Votan another day. It was like that. He didn't appreciate that for the silly treat that it was, and instead opted to just have a nice, relaxing evening. And then on the morning, obviously, we were able to repair and other things. But it didn't help my. So I was getting. Because John had brought me the new book. I've got the new codex here now. I was getting the horn for the dwarves. Alas, she'll just have to wait. But anyway, you then very generously pared down into Kelvin, Ben.
I know. I am heroic. What can I say? I did the honourable thing
and battered him. So he got.
It is one of those where, without guns, orcs are just fodder for Drakari, right? They bring everything. It's like, what's a gun you have? Here's something that it just kills. What's a weapon you have? Here's something that it kills. Would you like lots of battle shock tests failed so you could just have pain tokens all the time? Don't worry, our leadership's terrible. It's like they just couldn't serve Drakari up better.
No,
if they tried. So, and I think Kelvin had already played them once at this event, the poor lad. So this was tough going. For him.
He was quite confident about it as well. He was like, "Yeah,
well, he's a confident guy, man."
He's like,
I play for you.
He was like, "I know what they do now. I've got the measure of your game." I was like, "I don't think you do." But okay.
Yeah,
bless him.
So that was good fun. Aidan Brocklehurst beat Lee Jones on the Emperor's Children, and Lee learned a long, hard lesson about what happens if your Rhino gets charged by multiple units at once, and in fact, the Noise Marines inside it get absolutely pummeled, rather than getting to get out. Aidan, I think, Rat Trap killed 2 Rhinos in that game, which is pretty painful for an Emperor's Children army. So Aidan was ready to play with these Emperor's Children newbies. He knew what was what. And the Blood Angels were certainly getting it done. Our Adam Gawley got past Tom Coppin's Imperial Knights. Ed played some Drakari and was just stuck in what looked like a long block for the entire game, basically, and then eventually got the win at the end. That was pretty funny. I did witness a very sloggy draw between the Marco's Adeptus Mechanicus and Martin's Votan. Both armies looked like they were not enjoying. The Admech couldn't hurt the Votan couldn't hit the Admech, so there was just nothing. It was just a bunch of stuff just stood in the middle, having OC indefinitely. So that was a very, very enjoyable game to watch. Alrighty, and that takes it through to our finale. There's only one major game left to resolve for the very, very top placing, and that is our champion, Alex Chancellor, on his very unique Imperial Agents and IK list. Going into the enemy, the foe, Alex Fowler, fresh off his England successes with his WTC Thousand Suns list. You'd think Alex Fowler would obviously walk through this game, Chris, right?
Should be an incredibly easy win. We're all a bit like, this is sad times. And I think, Alex Chancellor obviously played it like quite cagey to begin with.
Yeah.
And I went over and you could just see that Mr. Fowler wasn't best pleased with the turn that he just had. Because nothing had died, really, that he was trying to kill. And obviously, outwardly, we're like, oh, that's such a shame. But inwardly, we were like, come on, Alex, you could do it. So we kind of was like, let's see what happens. And so Alex Chancellor got to then come out and shoot some things, and some things died. The concern obviously was that maybe in his quest to punish the Thousand Sons, Alex might get a bit gung ho and show too much. But I don't think he did, because it seemed to go the full distance. And as far as I'm aware, Alex will be able to fill us better on in the chat. I believe it kind of came down to the final turn and the final like dice rolls or something.
Yeah, it was one of those where it's like, I think Alex, had he made like a long advance on one of his knights, would have had 5 more, which is 10-10 on their current scoring. I think obviously then other Alex cycles cards and tries to get more points. It's not impossible. Like, it's not like it will definitely end that way, but it was certainly right in and around the 10-10, 11-9 threshold at the death, basically. So really, really tough, hard-fought game.
And I think Alex Chalmers should deserve a lot of credit here. Right? Like,
hell yeah.
You've got Alex Fowler, who's clearly an exceptional player. He's
a phenomenal player.
Come off of a really successful WTC. He's playing a list that he knows really well. He's got lots of reps on. And Alex has run him incredibly close on a bit of a hybrid type thing here. And we know that our Alex has that ability because he's been with us enough for us to know that he is a really strong player. He just needs
he's one of our little secret weapons, right? Because people never see
him
coming.
Stop giving himself a 2 on every matrix and a little bit more.
He needs to put the O at the end.
Maybe sometimes take an army that's actually strong, and he could be a bit of a world beater. But yeah, huge shout out to Alex there. But obviously a huge congratulations to Mr. Fowler for a very well-deserved undefeated run there.
Yeah, absolutely. I say Alex is a phenomenal player in very phenomenal form. So I wasn't massively surprised that he won the event, but the thing is, there's actually a different kind of pressure when you're turning up to an event and you have expectation on you, right? It's not easy to turn up, actually keep locked in and deliver across the whole event when you've got a lot of people sort of tooting it as inevitable or anything else. It's very easy to slip up somewhere. And ultimately, Alex stayed in there and just got through every single game, and a bunch of very tough competitors, top players, several of them from our team, to make it. So as far as other stories in the round go, what else do we have happening? Aidan Brocklehurst won a melee game against Jack Tite, second melee mirror of the day for Jack Tite. Lovely. Loves a combat game. That's exactly what he wanted. Martin Dawes Votan finally got something they could hurt and went through Kelvin's Orcs fairly aggressively. Sam Dunn beat Jerry's Space Marines. I think Tom Coppin beat Nella's Death Guard with his Imperial Knights. And we had Ed Watts playing Vanguard Jordan, and they had a very close game where they were both trying really hard to fail charges the whole time. They were both failing charges left, right, and centre, but eventually Ed won through with superior weight of bodies, I think, in the end. Kai smashed up our Dave Murdoch, bless him, with the Chaos Knights.
That's so funny. So Dave's playing Banishers, right? And Banishers have a choice of lethal or sustained, like in combat. So you're thinking, well, that's great, right? Lethal on the charge into the Chaos Knights. You've got Dread Knights as Grandmaster Knights. That's great. There's a slight problem with this, which is that the lethal hits would only go off if you pass a leadership check or battle shot check. And obviously Chaos Knights are quite good at debuffing that. So Dave basically spent the whole time being out OC'd and unable to kill like literally anything. And when they submitted their results, Dave won 18-2. I genuinely don't think this is possible. So of course,
the board state where there had been a big knight sat on every objective for the entire game, and that had never changed at any point. I was like, I know Dave's good, but blimey, like that would have.
I don't think that's so. Yeah, that was obviously the wrong way around. But that was a bit rough for poor old Dave.
And we had Paulie Wallace beat Marco Robert Shaw 14-6 with Strakari. There is one very noteworthy story, which is Harley and Paul James, right? So obviously, tell us a tale about Stormraven, Chris.
Well, so this is quite an important game in the context of they are both potentially hunting for a podium here. There's obviously big bragging rights here as well, and that sort of thing. And kind of walk over at the beginning, and Harley's like, "My Storm Raven's going to be able to shoot those Thunderwolf cavalry. I have told Paul that I can see them, but I was like, okay, that doesn't feel good, but it is what it is." Anyway, about 20 minutes later, the news spreads around the hall. Harley's Storm Raven has just been obliterated by Paul. And Paul had done Paul things. Namely, he had hit all of the times with his repulsors, wounded all of the times with his repulsors, and Harley had failed all of his saves on his Storm Raven. And so for the first time, his Storm Raven had died. Not only that, it died on turn 1, which obviously set back Harley quite a bit, because that's 280 points of a year of his army, which has done basically nothing apart from kill like 2 Thunderwolf cavalry. And on top of that, Space Wolves just have a lot of stuff, right? Like
They really do.
It will just keep on coming. Every time I come over, Harley is whinging about his dice. Oh,
yeah, Harley, you were a sulky little mare in this game, mate.
He's a sulky little bitch, Harley.
Sulky little mare. Outrageous, Harley. Not on. But you get one. You get one.
But to be fair, and I didn't track the game enough, because I was at this point starting to become sat on a laptop frantically typing in numbers to start trying to work out the best sports and painted and all like overall scores and stuff. So I didn't get to track it, but Harley did end up still managing to sneak the win. So Harley clearly did some very good stuff in the game. But for me, the most exciting story of this round was for best overall. So I'd worked out everyone's painting score. They had accumulated sports score. So the way our tournaments run, you have to grade each player out of 10 on how they've done, and that comes through Google Sheets for me. And I just frantically bully people and be like, do your score, do your score, do your score. And eventually most of them do their score. And then I have to go around and shame them in front of their opponent by asking them for the scores they haven't submitted. But as we hit the final round, there are 3 people who are on 145 points. Someone on 141 and someone on 140. And what's left to come in is their sports score and their final battle score. So it's incredibly close. And the people in contention were Sam Dunn on his Blood Angels, Byron Sidhu on with his Chaos Demons, and Paulie Wallace with his Drakari. Paulie's not had such a good run in terms of wins, but even though he's been losing, he's been scoring high.
He's scored well.
8, 9s kind of thing. His painting score is exceptional. And his sports score is good, right? Sam has got a really nice looking army. He's been putting up some decent scores, good scores, and he's also being a lovely opponent. And Byron,
Sam is just such great energy, I think, to have an event. I have to say, I think him and the Warhamsters, we didn't even mention it, they had like a weird little picnic outside and then the lunchtime they had like a little blanket, they had cheeses and hams, they had wine, they were being very silly with it. And Sam is just so much fun.
Yeah. And he's doing great. And then we've got Byron, who's got a nicely painted army, great sports scores, and he's undefeated, right? He's had a draw and 3 wins so far. So they're all on 145 points. So that is what I'm looking at. That's what I'm most excited about. Who's going to win best overall? And our first read through is, well, I know Jerry is a tough nut to beat. So that's going to be really hard for Sam to crack through. Paulie into Thousand Suns. We don't think that's great for Drakari. And then, Ben, you're playing Byron on Demons, which, again, doesn't feel that great, on top of the fact that Byron practices into Drakari.
Quite a lot. Apparently, yeah.
So I'm kind of like, okay, so this feels like it could be Byron's. Feels like it could be Byron's. And then my next time I come down, I talk to Ben, and things have gone quite well.
Went all right, yes. So what happened, Ben?
Talk us through your game, Ben.
So I've pulled up at the table, and Byron's given me. I play Paulie loads on Drakari. He knows the names of my units. That's always a strong.
That's always a bad sign.
That's a bad omen. He knows what a Court of the Archon does. I don't like that, because how am I meant to put my rules up if he knows what it does? But I've played it, and we're fine. We've deployed, and we've rolled to go first. And I'm like, This is fine. I think this is a win. I can win this if I go second. If I go first, this is tough. Roll the dice. Boom! There's the 6. And I was like, excellent. Don't roll a 6 for me, but no, he did. He rolled a 1. So he's going second. So he loves that because uppy downy big demons is great. So I'm like, what do I do here then? Who knows? So I've scouted out. I've took some board positions. I've done some things. He's had his turn. He's killed a beast pack. I've been like, that's fine. It's only a beast pack. It was meant to die anyway. Turn 2 rolls around, and I'm like, right, there's 2 demons here. Got Rotigus on his expansion, and I've got this weird little chicken thing over here that needs to die. And I looked at it, and I was like, Byron, I'm killing both these. He's like, that's a bold statement. I was like,
it is a bold statement.
Watch me just roll 6s. Boom, chicken's dead from haywire. Excellent. I was like, right, I'm going to land this unit of Talos here. I'm going to charge the front unit. 11-inch charge. Boom, there you go, past Rotigus. Next unit needs a 9. Just gets 10. Boom. Here, have 4 Talos Rotigus right up there. Didn't even spend lethal hits. Didn't get to the second unit to spend lethal hits.
Oh,
the first
my
unit of Talos
word,
slapped it straight off the board. And I was like, what did I say? Confidence. Get out of it. And he's like, he's feeling a bit squeaky at this point now. He's like,
well, yeah, that's
he's like, that's
stuff that
not
doesn't kill greater demons, killing greater demons, right? He doesn't have that many of them.
He's like, oh, that's an interesting turn. I was like, yes, yes it is. What are you going to do now? And then he just that's fine. But for that one moment, he was sweating, and that makes me happy.
Unbelievable. Yeah, no, I think that's a great. Honestly, what you got like an 8 out of the, which is it's not a good game for Drakari. It's really not.
Not going first. Definitely
not. So at one point, Ben's like, this isn't quite good. Meanwhile, I go over to Sam Dunn's table, and most of the salamanders of Jerry's look to be dead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, and I have no read on Paulie's game at all, apart from the fact that he won our spot prize of a double 1 and also still made the charge. So,
I saw that my read on that game was Marco is like me with Thousand Suns, which is that Magnus had gone on an adventure quite early in that game. And on his adventure, he'd met a whole brick of clowns with dev wounds. And I think that played quite an instrumental role in that. Alex Fowler is very patient with Magnus. Maggles only goes on an adventure right at the end. I felt like maybe Maggles had gone on an adventure a little bit too soon in that game. But if I'm wrong on that, on my read of that, Marco, you let me know. I can only apologise if that's not quite how it went down. Yeah.
Sorry, just before we carry on, I think it's very, very important that we share this with just with everyone, really. Because for those who don't know, podcast listeners currently have no idea what's going on. There's a picture on our screen. So
lovely Jack Chapman came and took some photos again, didn't he? Like he did at ITT.
Yeah, he took some photos and he managed to capture one incredible photo, which is one of the most memeable photos I've ever seen of our team. It's just Hardy looking a bit shocked.
We've not had a genuine meme come through with our photos in a while. So this actually originates with Tony Chu in the England Discord, who saw that photo and was like, I know what I can do with this. So.
The -1 damage, it does nothing, or it simply says the face you pull when your Storm Raven dies turn 1.
Yeah, exactly that.
It's
unbelievable.
You just use that photo, guys. Just knock yourself out of that photo. But
yeah, if this could be everywhere on the internet,
just really share that around.
We'd love that, and I know Harley would love that too.
Harley likes being spoken about.
He's all about brand recognition.
He likes the attention. So
he sees this for the breakthrough moment that it is. He's going to go viral now.
Harley is absolutely fine with this.
And what we've not got yet is I would like it to be made into one of those stickers that the young folks use in WhatsApp. So if you're someone that makes stickers, if you could make this into a sticker and send it to me, I'd be very appreciative. For I do not know how to do it myself. Okay, wonderful stuff.
But yeah, I just wanted to.
It's just. I think that can stay up. To be honest, I think that can stay up for the remainder of the show. I think that's fine where it is. So as far as other games go, yeah, I think we've covered most of these now. I think There was some very, very. This was, everyone's quite well matched at this point. The game I was watching that I was enjoying the most was again Tim. I'd followed Tim at the start of his journey here. He's playing into our own Lee Jones on Emperor's Children at the end, and they're playing a really hard-fought, sloggy game of Drakari versus Emperor's Children. And again, I think Lee came away super impressed with Tim. And I had to say, Tim, if you're listening somewhere, you were a delight to have. Your playing standard was so high, and it seemed like your sporting standard as well was also incredibly high. And every one of my sort of teammates or friends that played, you came away very struck by A, how good you were, and B, how nice to play you were. So I think as the first GT goes, that's pretty sick. That's the kind of stuff that we like. So very well done. Okie dokie. I guess I see the chat is just processing its way through the meme. That's fine. That's okay. I guess we should head towards the finale now and the awards, Chris.
Yeah, so a special thank you to everyone who came along, because at the corner of my eye, my peripherals, whilst I was just engaged in panic mode of quick maths and typing on my laptop, I was kind of semi-aware that in the backdrop, everyone was just tidying away.
Everyone cleaned the hall spotlessly.
Yeah, just like downpacking their tables, putting it away, rolling the mats up, putting them away, putting the tables away, the hall. It was incredible. And then just went outside and waited patiently for the presentation.
I was very impressed at how many people stuck around as well. You're right, and it's very easy.
It's quite a common thing to leave early, but it felt. I mean, there was no one who won a prize who had left, and
we didn't have a single thing called out. We didn't have a single thing called out. Yeah.
That was really cool, really. But yeah, I guess we should probably run through the prizes, because I know what it's like, right? You go to an event, and the reality is you're probably not going to win a prize. So for us, it's about trying to celebrate all aspects of the hobby, give everyone as much of a chance to win something, take away something from the event, and have a great time. We're not doing these events to make huge amounts of money, because we don't do them often enough, and also that's not really what we're about in all reality.
Not really.
It's more like we'll be there like, well, this event sold out. We should also probably mention this event sold out in 3 hours for 42 people. We had over 10 drops. Apparently, you're supposed to expect about 10% drop, so maybe 4 people. We had over 10 drops. And every time we were able to replenish that person immediately. Even on the Friday, we had someone drop, and we still were able to get 2 more. So in future events, always make sure you get on our waiting list, because people will drop. I think people kind of panic bought to an extent there. But yeah, once we made our money back, we're like, well, everything we buy is just money off our profit, right? But actually, for us, it's about trying to give as many people an opportunity. So we had more certificates and more prizes. So I will run through them. But before we do, special shout outs to Strata Dice, who provided gold, silver, and bronze dice for Best Sports 123 and Best General 123. We also got our event dice from them as well, so they were awesome. Terrain Forge gave an insane amount of prizes, absolutely insane amount of prizes. Best overall got like the WTC Mega Set Terrain. Best General got like a big set. So, there was just so many prizes. For so many, the painting was supplied by them as well. So that was awesome. Helmut War Games, obviously, wouldn't be able to run the event without them. So special shout out to Chris as well for helping us with all the training at Your Hero. Gambit Gaming sponsored Best Sport £50 voucher. So Alex can wear some. I assume Alex is going to spend his £50 on some 6++ t-shirts from Gambit Gaming on our Club Forge. So I look forward to seeing you.
I don't doubt that he will. Yeah,
I enjoy seeing you in that beautiful top there, Alex. And then, as you mentioned, Dave Beck, who looked after us at the Korean place. So our winners. So we had some fun certificates. So just to talk about the fun certificates, we had furthest travel. That was obviously Jerry coming from Belgium. Fun fact: it took Belgium about 4 hours. It took Jerry 4 hours to get to Hemel from Belgium. It takes me 10 hours to drive to Scotland. So that's fun. we had the Icarus Award. So the Icarus Award was for that person that flew too close to the sun. Namely, won their first 3 games and then lost their next 2. And one person was very, very kind enough to do that for us, which was our own Paul James.
Well done, Paul.
So he won the Icarus Award. We then had Submarine Extraordinaire, which was winning or losing your first game, and then winning your next 4. And that went down to Aidan.
Yeah, and he was executing people on his way back up from the deeps.
And he so nearly grabbed Best Marine as well.
Yeah, he did.
We had Fluffiest Army, which was one which we took a little bit of time to discuss. There were a few candidates here, and in the end, we did give it to Mr. Ed Watts. He'd been building his Space Wolf army and painting it in approximately 3 days. But a lot of the core stuff was from his Greater Greatness videos previously, and
he had his little diorama that he'd done.
Yeah, the little diorama. And he did look
well.
awesome on the tabletop. When it
was incredible. It looked really good.
So well done, mate.
Yeah.
We had Conqueror of the Tight. So this was, obviously, as we all know, Jack is our best friend and nemesis. And at the last event, we'd come up with this certificate for whoever beat Jack by the most. Unfortunately, Jack then went and won all his games, which was really annoying because he therefore got the certificate himself. But this time, 2 people were able to beat Jack. Aidan beat him 11-9, but Alex chanced to beat him 12-8. So Alex got that. And then, because that's how we are, we also had a Plus Slayer Award, which was for the person that beat the most members of 6++. And that went to Alex, who beat 3 of us, I believe. Beat Harley.
Yes, he
Alex,
did.
And
you might as well just throw me on there as well, because he beat me enough times lately.
In terms of painting, Paulie won Best Painted Army. Him and Kai were basically the same on points, but Kai won it last time. Also, Paulie, it's just the standard across so many models. It's just
Paulie's, and I've not seen his new Harlequins that he's done in the flesh, but they are just like Games Workshop exhibition worthy. They're just stunning. It's my favourite mask as well. It's the people will have seen my bad impression of the Veiled Path with the green and the yellow and the purples, and Paulie's are just utterly beautiful. So good.
So that was awesome. Best painted unit. So unit and like loan model were 2 categories where it was peer voted. People just put them out on the tables and voted. And Jerry won best painted unit with salamanders.
Yes.
And Tim Page, Mr. Pickaxe, won with his... Is it Azaman, was it? Or Fugan?
Yeah, I think it was Azaman. I think Fuegan with the unit was in the other one, but Azaman won the individual model.
Azaman was awesome. He's just very, very strong. Tim's got this really cool like grey scheme with like bold highlights to make it pop in that. It's a really beautiful. So great job there, Tim. And then in terms of placings and stuff, Kelvin won Wooden Spoon, which is actually a very good price. It gives you a free ticket to our next event. So can't complain about that. We still like to think of ourselves as bang average. So the bang average award is for the person that comes halfway, which was 21st, which was run by Eddie. And you win a set of 6++ objective markers. And he didn't own any objective markers, so that was ideal. And then in terms of faction specialists, you get some pretty cool trophies made by Dark Mill.
Dark Fantastic Mills, yeah.
They do awesome stuff. So Ben Pierce, you won Best Xenos. Now, it wasn't a great weekend for Xenos. And you came like 13th, was it?
14th actually.
14th out of 42 was best.
The Xenos were having a hard time.
It was a bad day at the office for the Xenos, but well done, Ben. Best Imperium went to Alex, who came 6th with his Knights. Best Marines, incredibly close. Ed managed to do it despite getting a 0-20, which is absolutely moronic, but whatever. So he came 4th, just beating out Aidan. And then Best Chaos went to our own Adam. Which was pretty cool. He was genuinely quite shocked when he got
that was really lovely to see. And I think this was like a warm up run with Emperor's Children for him. He'd not really played them a ton before. He was killing it. He was doing great. So I think he had a really good weekend.
That was awesome. Third place was Mr. Stormraven himself, Hulry. As you can see his beautiful face there. So that was awesome. Second place went to Byron, who finished on 4 wins and a draw. and then Mr. Alex Fowler got Best General. Over on Best Sport, this was in. So as I said, each player has to vote on each other after 10. 57% of all games voted on were 10 out of 10. Oh. Now, our sportsmanship score clearly states that a 1 is you need to would have called a judge because your opponent
or the police. Yeah.
And a 10 is this person is someone you'd want to nominate for a best sport award. That is how good it was. And the fact that over half of all games were 10 out of 10 was incredible. A lot of people scored in the 40s, right? Like there were very, very rare exceptions where anything was under a 5, which is obviously what would be an average score. So sportsmanship scores were insane, and a lot were very high up. In the end, though, Kelvin, with his Fun Time Orcs, came third. And then Mr. Jordan Checkley of Vanguard Tactics fame came second.
I have to say, I've not actually spent a ton of time with Jordan, but he was having such a good time with everybody he played. It was really lovely watching. Like, he's just a gent. He's always laughing. He's always joking. It doesn't matter if he's winning or losing either. He's just as much fun, whatever the game.
I met Jordan 2-3 years ago. We played at LGT. We're both 3-0. So, this is a big game, and we just immediately clicked, and it was such a fun time. And, he had to deal with Sam Royal.
Captain Jack Royal, as he's now being called.
She shout out to Jordan.
And he dealt with that very well.
He scored 49 out of 50. But only one player scored 50 out of 50 on their best sport. And
only one, Chris.
Only one. And fair play, because obviously when you're winning your games, especially if you're winning them quite big, it can be hard to be great sport. But so the fact that Mr. Alex Fowler managed to get full 50 on his best sports
50 out of 50
whilst beating everyone, it's that's a fair play to him. So great job.
It's a remarkable it's a remarkable achievement. He's a wonderful guy. He is a delight to play. When he tells you he's lost, don't believe him. But other than that, he's an absolute delight to play. And I think he was fantastic all weekend. And I think it was really, really cool to see. And it's, just very, as Chris said, it just doesn't really happen. You just don't get people. You do not get many who win the majority of their games in contest with best sport. It is simply a very rare thing. And, but not to take it to an England place, but that's everything that we hoped England could get to in the future and started doing this year. And I think Alex is an absolute sort of symbol of that. So well done him.
Yeah, great job. And then finally, the most important one, the best overall, the person who does the best in a combination of hobby score, sportsmanship score, and placing score. Ben, you are reigning champion, and you scored very highly here as well. But as I said, it was between 3 people, and the end results were literally 1 point across the board between the top 3. So that was pretty amazing. But in the end, it went to Mr. Sam Dunn, who's in the chat. Princess Sam, who's got now a beautiful crown. Now, last time, the crown that Ben had was like a £5 from a toy shop, wasn't it, Ben?
Yes.
This one, genuinely custom made, quite heavy, really quite fancy.
Real sapphires.
It was not a cheap. I can assure you that it's not a cheap crown. It's got a custom writing on it as well. So hopefully, and then you also got some pretty nice prizes there as well.
Yeah, we went quite big on prizes for this one.
We went very big on prizes. My favourite prize, I think, actually were the spot prizes. I had this idea at the last event to do purity seals.
Yes.
Have what you've done, you've achieved on them. I still couldn't quite work that out, but in the end, I was just let's just do purity seals. So I found this person on eBay who makes cosplay stuff and had these good sized purity seals, and then we put a little bit of Velcro with them for each of the players. And it was, the standard stuff like slay the warlord and steal opponent's objective and that. But I think they're pretty cool. Harley was walking around with he lost his objective.
Very proudly, he lost his home objective in the first game.
And then took it back straight away.
On his way to a complete tabling of a GSC army, but he was happy to let them have it for a turn and get a purity seal.
So yeah, we went big on the prizes, and I think like that was quite cool. I like that. But we only able to do that because of how fortunate we are with sponsors who like helped us out there. So big thank you to them. And yeah, that was it really. Like it was not an event without stress.
No.
At various points. The first time it was stressful because we'd never done it before, and it felt like a big deal. This time we were far more chilled going in, and just more things.
We just had a few more hurdles,
which were in our pretty much opinion mostly out of our control. But for me personally, the biggest thing is just the atmosphere and the vibe.
Yeah, it's just really
you just walk around and it's just a bunch of people having games. And like, let's be clear, like you look at some of the players, like Ben, you've just gone 5-0 at 2 events, right?
Yep.
And you came 14th. We've got top end WTC players.
Oh, there were very strong players. Very strong players. I think probably 25 out of 42 were like very, very high level players.
Yeah.
And that, but again, the atmosphere was immaculate despite that, right? And it's that combination. It can genuinely be both those things. I think the game can absolutely be both those things. And as I say, for all the stresses we were dealing with, the people in the hall were never right? They were always just having a great time, being a lot of fun. Some of them more fun than others, and it was all very, very good fun. So yeah, shout out to all of you guys. I think having got to run these in the north and in the south and see the slightly different groups of people, some of the same faces, but obviously different groups of people from different kind of communities we know, it's just such a privilege to be able to do that, really.
We wouldn't be
really enjoyed it
to do them if it wasn't for the fact that everyone comes along and it just makes the event so much fun.
100%.
Yeah. And there is obviously part of you which is, let's just do more of them. But we're also quite keen to make sure each event is always as high quality. We're not going to...
there's a level we want to deliver.
Like, we've got other things we want to do as well in our lives apart from just run events. So for us, we want to keep it more prestigious in a way. We're very fortunate to work with Prestige up north, and that's always going to be around about a 60-person event. Down south, obviously a lot of people we know and that are down south, and who knows what the future holds there. We've got something potentially incredibly exciting, but we're waiting on that before we announce anything. But we will be, I guess, our only setback, our only issue potentially is we don't own any terrain, right? So in this case, it was Hemel going, look, you use our terrain, don't worry about it. We just want you to have a good time, and that was incredible from them. Yeah. We're always going to do WTC. That's our thing. We think there should be more WTC events in the country. We want that. Yes. There is room we've got in our calendar for a third event, and how that looks is something that we are working on and developing at the moment. But other than that, we won't be pushing too far. So yeah, our next event, singles event, will be March, roughly the same time as last time. Who knows? Ticket sales will go out at some point towards the end of the year. We'll obviously share that with everyone because I would imagine they'll probably sell out very, very quickly again.
Indeed.
And that sort of thing. But yeah, I think for me personally, the thing I want to say the most is just a huge thank you to everyone that came and just supported us in any way, because it genuinely was a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, it's just wonderful to say. As long as they are providing that atmosphere, as long as you're all having that kind of fun, we're always going to have energy to want to do another one and want to keep pushing that. And I say, we got to be proud parents watching our own teammates playing, but it's just amazing how many like wider friends we have that are sort of, very long time 40k friends now that we've been playing in events with for years. We get to see them all out there, and it's just a fantastic thing. So really, really very grateful to all of you.
Yeah, that's cool.
Sweet. I think we're probably done then, which is a shame because that means this meme of Harley's going to go away. Someone has sent me the sticker. Yeah. I've got the sticker now for life, so I can drop that bad boy whenever I want. Thank you very much to the Warhamsters for giving me that. That's absolutely wonderful. We have been 6++, and we will be back again soon. Theo says Tom kept avoiding me on Sunday. Theo, we talked loads. You got loads of time. Don't wear your hood up in a school, Theo. It doesn't suit you. All right? Naughty.
All right, Dad.
Naughty. Oh, I'm so old doing this now. I'm too old. On that note, we're calling it a day. Good night, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Love you, Harley.